talk today about ideas. I was wondering, how did you manage with your crew, how to get the hi5 idea was the best to be held and to be moved to the next step? I think you had many ideas before coming up with hi5. How was your workaround for this, to get this final idea that you say, okay, this is what I want to do?
Yes. Well, have you heard the saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get? Have you ever heard that? I think it's very true. It wasn't the first idea, is the answer, right? It was probably the third idea that we did. We tried a couple of other things and they just weren't working. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, some don't talk about their failures. They've all had failures. There's no way they get to be successful without making a bunch of mistakes. There are exceptional examples out there, right? I mean, but even someone like Steve Jobs, just not to put myself in that group, but someone like Steve Jobs, the Apple Newton was actually his first try at what today has become the iPad. And he probably started the Apple Newton in the, early 90s, late 80s, something. It was a long time ago. So I think it's continuously trying. So how we came up with the idea was that we're interested in connecting people. I personally was very interested in international. We kind of wanted to see, like, how is the world going to take on the internet? And I think those were the two basic ideas. And we thought that the idea could grow without spending a lot of money on marketing. And that was really important because we didn't have that much money to spend. And those were the three things. And then we thought about it and we said, okay, well, with that filter, what ideas could actually make sense? And there was only a handful of things that could work. And hi5 kind of, we evolved it into hi5. It originally started off as a dating site, and then we said, okay, that's not going to bring in people as we like. And then as we evolved it, then it became hi5.
Okay, my second question would be that in your beginning, you had no choice. You had no buzz like we have today. hi5 just went viral. What would be your advice for today when we have too many options
to build?
Out there?
Too many options of what to build?
About advertising your work or your idea, because we have today too many buzz, too many options out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of options out there. There are a lot of ideas, I think is what you're saying. And how do you get word out about your idea? How do you get customers for whatever you're building?
How can you communicate your ideas? If I make hi5 right now, how could I compete against?
Don't do that. Just kidding. No, if you make hi5 right now, then how do you let people know about hi5?
Yes.
Well, okay, you can't just go and create any site that has a lot of competition and then expect people to come and use your service, right? It's probably not rational. But if you're creating something in a new area, there's a whole science today around viral marketing, right? When we started it, we figured it out step by step. But we really have a lot of understanding, a lot of learnings around viral marketing. And it can be applied to a lot of new areas. So I think with any business, one thing to think about is, am I differentiated or not? Am I different than what's already out there? And then the second thing to think about is, okay, it's different. Do people really want this? Oftentimes the only way to figure out that people really want it is to build it and then go and show some people and say, hey, do you like this? Would you use it? And if they don't use it, don't force them to, right? Because it's probably not useful to them. And so evolve the idea, change the idea up, go and see, does it work in a different market? You can basically iterate on two things very early on. You can iterate on the product and change the product so it's more appealing to people, or you can change the markets, right? So you can change, instead of Ecuador, go and market it in Mexico or somewhere that's not addressed yet. And so I think those are the things you continuously kind of are moving on, and eventually you come across something that does resonate well with people. There's no exact answer to this type of question, right? Because it's really, is it a product that people want, and are they ready for it? Is the type of process you have to go through.